Hey, how you doing? Nice you could make it today. Before we get started on making a bench out of this beautiful piece of walnut with the hourglass figure, before we get to that, I want to say some things about what we did to the tilting column drill press. Tilting column drill press. In this aspect, it's a tilting column. When it does the handrail stuff, it's a doctor press. But as it is right here, we've added this top to it, which is really, it's basically just a piece of plywood, 28 inches by 48 inches. The grain goes this way, and we have a cutout in the back to go around the column. We have a little cutout here so I can lean closer and reach the handle better. Okay, so we got a couple of things, that way, but you can see all that from the surface. We have this right now, most of the leg stuff, drilling it in, works really nice at 15 degrees. Okay, so we set this up at 15 degrees, and we've got on the base here, we've got two 5x5s, cedar, feather light. I like the nice light cedar. Anyhow, we got two 5x5s underneath of it, stuff left from when we did drilling jig, okay? And we let the ends continue out. Here it's 3 inches, here it's 1 inch, but we left the ends stick out a little bit so we can put a cantilevered table leaf, if you will, a table leaf, an addition on that side, an addition on that side, but since it's so often just in the way, I wanted just to be able to put it in there, put a pin in it, because it's just to continue the reference lines that we have here, reference lines that come from, this comes down 15 degrees, hits right in the middle of the table of this X, okay? X, and that X is at 28 degrees, equal everything. Okay, this is the exact center, and it's 28 degrees. Okay, 28 degrees as far as the pattern, which works exceptionally well, because if you have 90 degrees, instead, then the legs on the benches, they flare out more on the end. I think it looks silly. They need to come mostly this way and only a little bit that way. You need them to go a little bit that way for stability and so that they look right, but they need to go mostly this way. And then when you are calculating, I'm sorry you can't use the 1-4-1 rule exactly with that because it doesn't work. If you're, it's since this 28 degrees, you're more going back to a 1/3 of that with the 1-4-1, 1.41. So we've got 15 degrees, and instead of it being, now I set a number, I gotta go look and see what it is. One moment. Okay, here I'm back with my trusty calculator. So we go 15 degrees divided by 1.41 equals, 10.63 degrees. Oh, yeah. Okay, the rungs would be at that if they were set at 90 degrees out instead of 28, but 28 is almost exactly 1/3 of 90. So you can go, instead of 15 degrees on the rungs, if you fit them right into the legs, we could go at 13.5, and that would work out really good for the angle on the, but we'll get back to that later. Right now we're talking about the top, and some things that this created that works better than the other tilting column, the other tilting column drill press that I have, is that we fitted, the only oddball thing about this is the 5x5 on the back, and we sanded out a little bit on the base so it would so that where we bolt it on the column here, that the tension point would be 2.5 or halfway down that 5x5. Okay, halfway down there, so it's right in the middle, and it's right at a point, so we can clamp right at that point, and it holds tension on here really good. But that makes this table, so as we change, and if we pull the shims out from underneath of it and lower it or raise it, this center point, this reference point, it will stay exactly the same, which is, that's a nice plus. There would be ways around it, and I've had to find, but we don't have to find a way around it. It's going to be spot on all the time at the 15 degrees, going up as it goes up and down the column. It's just a nice little perk. So, bolts on the back, we put wings on it, we're using spacers underneath of it. We added on the base to have some tensions, because I don't want to use a bunch of stuff to fasten it down, to fasten the tabletop down, because I want this to just be able to come off of here in a minute and take it off and switch it to something else, so it's very fast. So there's just 2 nuts on the back. They would come off to take this off and get it up. Oh, and we added this strap on the bottom just to hold tension down to the base unit, hold tension to the sawhorses, to hold it tight down so there's no wiggle while we're drilling stuff. This is enough. It holds it really solid, okay? So I think we can go to actually making something now. Yay! All this was about actually doing something that's going to produce a finished product that's beautiful. So let's go to our walnut bench with the hourglass figure.